Honourable Ministers and Honourable Assistant Ministers, Honourable Members of Parliament, Permanent Secretaries, Chairman, and Special Administrators of Bar Town Councils, as well as other municipalities that are here with us, government officials, President of the Bar Chamber of Commerce, and members of the Bar business community, representatives of the sporting community here in Bar, development partners, distinguished guests, and most importantly, the resilient and the proud people of Bar. A very warm morning to you all. What a glorious, what a beautiful morning we're having today. And we must thank God Almighty for gracing and for blessing this day. Since establishment of this park, Govind Park, in 1976, it has stood as a touring symbol of Bar's deep sporting spirit, especially its unparalleled contribution to football in Fiji. This stadium has witnessed legendary moments, fierce IDC rivalries, dramatic league finishes, and players who have gone to become national icons. Therefore, ladies and gentlemen, it is indeed a great honor for me to stand here this morning in the heart of Bar to mark a moment of another historic significance, official reopening of Govind Park. A revival of a national symbol, a local treasure, and a proud part of our sporting and community heritage. Ladies and gentlemen, Govind Park has been a theatre of dreams, a place where young boys and girls saw their future unfold, where the community gathered not just to cheer, but to connect, to celebrate, and also to heal. But then came tropical cyclone Winston in February 2016, which dealt a devastating blow to this beloved venue. The damage was so extensive, and its closure left a deep void not only in Bar, but in the national sporting landscape. While phase one of the redevelopment was initiated in 2018 and completed in 2019, no further work took place. And I thank my predecessor for initiating, for starting the redevelopment of this park. This stadium remained closed, and the people of Bar continued to wait for too long. Ladies and gentlemen, after nearly a decade of silence, Govind Park stands tall once again, thanks to decisive intervention and commitment of your coalition government. When we assumed office, we made it a priority to unlock stalled infrastructure projects, especially those that carry deep community value. We committed $8.9 million for phase two of the project, of the total cost of over $13 million, of which $4.2 million was committed in phase one to bring this project to life, and we insisted on timelines, transparency, and quality. We did not just restore but what was lost, but to build something better and lasting. Last night, while we were having a small gathering at the Bar Town Council chamber, and asked the chairman of the Board of Special Administrators Bar Town Council, I asked him, Chairman, how many times have I visited Bar? And he told me 16 times. That's how committed we are. Your government is in making sure that we complete this project. And before I continue, I must thank again the people of Anua, of Neilanga, for the good, for the very welcoming traditional ceremony that was accorded to me, as well as the representative of the Ministry of the Government this morning. This is a stadium ready to host IDC, as alluded earlier by the chairman of the Mba Town Council. Skipper Cup and National League matches and vision of hosting international fixtures, Super Rugby Pacific events, and a new generation of grassroots tournaments. And also being globally advised that the first match that will be held on this ground will be held this coming Saturday. It will be a skipper rugby match between the Mba provincial team against the Suva rugby team. Ladies and gentlemen, this redevelopment is a part of a bigger vision, one where sport is no longer seen as just entertainment, but as a driver of health, unity, economic activity, and national pride. Sport teaches us discipline, resilience, teamwork, and inclusion. It empowers our youth, strengthens our identity, and builds social cohesion. Investment in sport in infrastructure like Govind Park also means more local employment, tourism opportunities, and vibrant local economies. As alluded earlier by the chairman, we're also having talks with the chief executive officer of the Drua franchise for the possibility of having trial games or even few draw games in the future here at Govind Park. Ladies and gentlemen, this opening comes at a time when our government has announced one of the most ambitious people-focused budgets in our history. To tackle the pricing cost of living, we have reduced VAT from 15% to 12.5%, maintained zero-rated VAT on 22 essential items, and delivered over $500 million in direct cost of living relief. We've also aligned essential service subsidies under one income threshold of $30,000 and below, ensuring that struggling families or struggling households receive free or subsidized water, electricity, and medicines. A few days ago, I received a call from one lady, a social welfare recipient here in Ba, and she faced a difficulty in trying to reconnect water that was disconnected. And so I'm fortunate that we managed to reconnect because they have paid quite a significant amount of arrears that led to the reconnection of water meter. And I think the family is here this morning. Public transport fares have been reduced by 10%, benefiting students, workers, vendors, as well as the elderly. We've continued the $200 back to school grant per child because we believe that no child should be left behind due to poverty. Our budget expands the Fiji Police Force by 1,000 officers, supports a national review of minimum wage, and boosts welfare programs and pensions by 5%. In health, we have increased the Ministry of Health budget to over $600 million. We have launched new programs to combat HIV and AIDS, expand diagnostic services, and improve mental health and NCT management. And planning is also underway for a $2 billion national hospital. In education, we have awarded over 24,000 government scholarships in 2025 alone, the highest in our nation's history. In infrastructure, we have expanded funding to the Ministry of Public Works for roads, bridges, drainage, and climate-resilient investment across the country. We have increased investments in the Water Authority of Fiji to modernize and expand clean water access, including here with the people of Mba. We are also supporting rural housing grants, maritime shipping, and outer island services because our vision is for all Fiji, not just urban centers. We are reforming our public finances, strengthening our revenue systems, and reducing waste to ensure that every dollar works harder for our people. We're also rebuilding trust in government by investing in the Office of Auditor General, the Judiciary, Human Rights Commission, other democratic institutions. Ladies and gentlemen, as part of our wider urban renewal agenda, yesterday we launched the 2025 clean cities and town competition, which challenges all voted municipal councils to reimagine, restore, and revive their towns and cities. This is not just a campaign, it's a movement to rekindle civic pride, promote innovation, and create cleaner, greener, and a more inclusive urban spaces. And the winners will be announced around April or May next year, and encourage Ba Town to be a strong contender. Ladies and gentlemen, we're also undertaking a major waste management project for the Western Division, supported by the UNDP under the Coral Reefs Project and the Asian Development Bank. This includes the remediation of 4 existing dump sites and the development of a modern and sustainable waste solution to serve the division. This is a vital part of our effort to tackle illegal dumping, protect our environment, and improve public health, especially in fast-growing regions like Tuba. Ladies and gentlemen, today is not the end of this project. It is the beginning of a new era. Let this stadium be a beacon of community pride, a training ground for champions, and a gathering place for unity. As we celebrate here today, I also acknowledge the tireless work by our lead consultant, Permal Construction Limited and his team, as well as the 2 contractors who awarded the contract to complete this project, especially this particular pavilion, as well as the new turf that we are witnessing here on the ground. Let this be a reminder of what we can accomplish when we work together, that is government, councils, contractors, and our community. May this park, may Govind Park serve these generations as well as many more to come. Let the games begin, let Ba rise again, and let Fiji move forward, united and strong. With those words, ladies and gentlemen, I have the great pleasure of declaring the redeveloped Govind Park Stadium officially open. Now, and may God bless the people of Ba, and may God bless Fiji. Nabali.